Hi, everyone. Welcome to my session, Taking Your Courses to the Next Level with iCEV Health Science. My name is Maggie McGill, and I am a CTE Territory Manager for CEV Multimedia. I cover most of the states in the West, so that's California, Arizona, Nevada, Washington, and Hawaii. Please don't forget, after this session, we are having a 10-minute live Q&A session. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to talk about today. So first off, I'm going to give you a quick tour of all of the health science courses that are available in iCEV online. Also, we're going to take one of our pre-made courses and we're going to customize that course. So I'm going to show you how to do that. In addition to that, we're going to create a custom course in health science. After that, we're going to take a quick look at the activities and projects within one of our courses. We're not going to have a bunch of time to get in and look at all of those, but we'll look at a couple of them. And then again, we have our live Q&A after this. So let's go live into our platform, and you can see that it says, Welcome Nevada Maggie. So this is my Nevada demo site. So I have access to all of our CTE subject areas. So if you're already a subscriber with iCEV, this page looks pretty similar because this is where all of your courses sit after you set them up. So I'm going to start that process here from scratch and so show you how to set up a course. So right here, it says add a new course or certification. Today, I'm talking about courses, and we're going to go into our health science site. And these are all of the courses that are available to my Nevada health science teachers. Now, when you log in from another state, it might look slightly different. And the reason is because we worked with the Nevada Department of Education. We looked at all of their pathways and their course sequences, and we matched it up just like it is at the state level. So when you log in, again, it could look just a little bit different, but not much. So when my Nevada teachers log in, they see all of these courses. You get access to everything when you have a subscription with health science. So they have an employability skills for career readiness. They have a health science 1 and 2. They have an anatomy and physiology. They have a CNA prep course. They have a counseling and mental health, forensic science, health science theory, medical terminology, principles of health science, and then they have some professional communications courses. Those are great for covering those soft skills. So for today, I'm going to set up this Nevada Health Science 2 course. All I'm doing is copying and pasting our course title and dropping it here in the course title. I'm making sure it's green, and then I'm adding it. A couple things. You can name your courses whatever you would like. I kept them the same that they are in our platform. One other thing to remember is that if you teach, let's say, 4 periods of Health Science 2, you should set up the Health Science 2 course 4 times, and then in the course title, do something like -5, -7, so that you can visually distinguish between your periods of Health Science 2 courses. The other reason is because it keeps your roster separated and your grades separated. For today's purposes, we've just added the Health Science 2, and I'm going to go ahead and press Finished. And now it brings me back to my home dashboard where all of my courses are, and that is going to be the last course listed. Now I can move it around if I want, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it there. So to get into the course, I could do that through the title. The green box with the green arrow is actually all of the lessons that are in the course, and they're linked if you wanted to jump to them. Getting started with Bulb is the first lesson in the course. Bulb is a student digital portfolio, and this will change as to what you last left off on once you start working through the course. And then you can get into the course through the view button. So that's the way I'm going to get in there. So here's Nevada's Health Science 2 courses. These are all of the lessons that are in this course. I'm going to make this just a little bigger to make sure everybody can see. All right, first things first is that my Nevada teachers have a standards alignment document. Our other states have alignment documents available as well. Some of you may log in and not see that yet, but it is coming. So this is what it looks like for my Nevada teachers. They have an academic standards alignment and pacing guide for Health Science 2. Basically, the lesson name, the iCEV lesson name, and then the days of teaching. Don't let the days of teaching worry you. This is like max days if you're using every single resource activity project within a lesson. In addition to that, they have the standard for the state. So the state standards here and what iCEV lesson is covering that standard. So this is a really valuable document for them to have. Obviously, if they have to turn in any kind of standards, you know, being covered to their administrator, that's where they can find that. There is also a special populations document. I'm not going to get into this too deeply. I want you to know that this is here as a resource for you. It is great tips and tricks for special populations, accommodations versus modifications. There's a lot of really great information in here. So you will always see a special population strategy document inside all of our courses. In addition to that, you have all of these kind of student settings and course settings here. We're not going to get into those today, but you're going to have to trust me that you could hide lessons from your students. You could make them visible on a date. You can hide activities and projects from your students. You could hide interactive activity. You can hide the answer. So there's a lot of course settings available on the right-hand side. We just don't have time to get into that today. So we're in the Health Science 2 course, and I've decided that I don't want to use the student digital portfolio called Bulb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that lesson, or I'm going to remove it. So customize this course. When I choose that, on the right-hand side, you will see the course that we were just looking at in the other screen. So it starts with that digital portfolio lesson, and it ends with the Health Science Professionals. I do not want the digital portfolio lesson through Bulb, so I'm going to remove it. Now I can get it back if I want. I just have to search for it and add it back in. So I just removed a lesson. So let's say that maybe I want scientific reasoning and problem solving to be my first lesson, and I want procedures and safety to be second. So basically, through drag and drop, I'm able to resequence the lesson in any order that I want to teach them in, okay? So you're able to resequence, remove, or add lessons. On the left-hand side is the access you have to all of the lessons. So again, this is my demo site, so I see all the subject areas. When you log in with a health science subscription, you would only see the health science lessons. So you have a few different ways you can search for lessons. One is through the keyword search. Couple things about this: keep it singular, and keep it simple, and always clear your results afterwards. You can also search by subject or alphabetically. For today, I'm going to search by subject. I always search by subject. I find it the easiest way. So when I do that, of course, I see all the other areas. When you do this, you will only see what you're subscribed to. So when I go to health science, I have all of these areas here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick basic structure and function in anatomy and physiology. So when I do that, it's going to bring up all of the lessons that come under that. If I wanted to add these lessons to my Health Science 2 course, I could easily do that by pressing add. So you can see I just added 3 lessons to this. So where are they? How'd they get in there? So they're down here at the bottom, and then you can always reorder and resequence them later. So I can tell it's already in there because I can't add it. It just says preview. And then anything else you want to add, you could do that. So you could create a course, you could customize this course as much as you want. The big thing here is to remember to press finished, because that is like your save button. So now when I go back to my teacher dashboard where all my courses are, and I open up Health Science 2 and I press view, you can see that Bulb lesson is gone, and I've added some of those other lessons. Okay, so that's one thing, creating a custom course, pretty easy to do. All right, let's go back to our course homepage. And I don't know if a lot of you know that, but when you click on that icon, My iCEV, it's kind of a shortcut to get there. This time, so we've done a custom course, we set up a pre-made course. I customized it. This time we're going to actually create a custom course. So I'm going to start from scratch and I'm going to add new course or certification. And then in the blue, you'll see that it says create a custom course. I'm going to choose that option. And now look, we're back at that page we were just a little bit ago, but nothing is on the right-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a title for my custom course, and I'm just going to name it after my name. So it's going to be Maggie. Same idea as customizing a course. You're going to go through and search for lessons that you want to add to this course. 3 ways to search: keyword, subject, alphabetically. I'm going to go by subject again. I'm going to go to health science. And this time, maybe I want to create a course all around careers in health science. So that's what I chose, career exploration in health science. So these are all of the career exploration videos that we have available. So we've been talking a lot about a pharmacist. We've been talking a lot about medical technicians. I have a lot of students that might be into physical therapy, maybe mental health services. So basically, I just created a custom course with 4 lessons in it. You could add more to it if you want. You can reorder them so they're in any order you want. When I press finish, remember that's important, that's your save, and I go back, that custom course named Maggie is right here, and those 4 lessons are in there. When you invite your students to the course, it's the same process as always. It creates a unique code. They go here, they enter the code, create their username and password, and they're in. One other reason why you might want to create a custom course is for your students on an IEP. You could create a custom course and you could just put 1 student in there if you want. The reason why I mention this is because you can provide the proper modifications or accommodations for a student on an IEP, meaning you could give them more chances on an interactive activity. You could limit their view so that they can concentrate just on one thing at a time. So lots of reasons why, but just know that you can create a custom course for students on an IEP. All right, so we're almost out of time, but let's get in and look at, actually I wanna look at the health science too, and let's go into principles of body mechanics. This is a reminder that our content can be used for in-person, hybrid, or distance learning. So your students log in, they see what the teacher sees minus answer keys and lesson plans, unless the teacher's hidden things from them that they don't want them to see. So this particular lesson is going to be delivered through video. The lesson plan is in the top right-hand corner, but there will be a lesson plan for every lesson in our system. There are goals, descriptions, and objectives. There are common core standards. So for my Nevada teachers, they've got their academic content standards. They've got common core standards here in the lesson plan. And then we have daily pacing that we provide for these teachers. So this is basically saying 7 class periods at 50-minute time blocks to finish principles of body mechanics. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed when I tell you that, because that means that you're using every single resource inside of each lesson. You do not have to do that. You have complete autonomy over what you're going to use or not use in each lesson. You also have lesson links. You have CTSOs. We have career interviews in our platform. So people that we film and ask them about their careers. So it's like bringing in an expert into the classroom. I'll show you where those are. And then we have lab activities and we have projects. So when I go back to that lesson, here are the career interviews. So it's nice to be able to have a career, bring an expert into the classroom. They're all closed captioned. One thing I do want to remind people is that your students can actually slow down the speech in any of our videos. The 0.75 is actually not that slow. Great for English language learners. So career interviews: who are you, where do you work, what do you do every day, what's your education and background, advice to students. To get back to the video in this lesson, it's through that drop-down menu. Again, closed captioning, slowing down the speech is all available. This video is also chaptered out, so we're delivering this information in chunks to your students. We're definitely not suggesting that you sit through this entire video. And then you have your instructional materials, okay? So This is basically if you're doing in person, and it can be for distance and it can be for hybrid, but for in-person learning, these are great activities and projects to do. So before I forget though, you do have an NGSS correlation document. So in addition to content standards, Common Core, you also have NGSS available. You also have a video transcript. So whatever's being said in that video, you can copy and paste it and put it into Google Translate into a student's native language. And then you have all kinds of activities and projects for this lesson. And if you notice on the right, it says visible to students. Here's where you as the teacher decide what you want your students to see or not see. Maybe you don't want them to do the career connections. You don't want them to do the body movements handout. So you want to check it, and now you've hidden that from the students. So one of the activities, I personally like these because they're really going to enhance and reinforce the concepts that are being taught in either the PowerPoint or the video. This is a very simple activity, Simon Says, based on body mechanics. So it gives the directions to the students and the movements or the mechanics that they want demonstrated during the Simon Says activity. So these activities and projects are great for teamwork and collaboration and communication, critical thinking. So all different types of activities and projects to reinforce the learning going on. Let's open up another lesson just so we can get a little bit of a feel for this course. Let's go into this Body Systems Basic Skeletal. You're going to notice it's going to be the same format as the other lesson, except this time it's going to be PowerPoint based, okay? Lesson plan is here, career interviews are here, and then again, this information is being delivered through the PowerPoint. Instructional materials are here, so these are all of the activities and projects. Then there are paper-based assessments, and now we have interactive assignments. So these are exercises and built-in assessments. Every lesson is going to have interactive activities and assessments. So they're going to be things like drag and drop, multiple choice, inline choice, labeling. So this particular one is labeling. And just for the sake of time, I'm just going to drag and drop real quick because I will run out of time otherwise. But this is exactly the experience your students will get. It will save their progress as they're moving through. And then it will grade it for the teacher, and it will give immediate feedback to the students. So again, these are really great activities, for your students to do. Let's say I just don't answer that last one. I press finish, I say yes, and now it tells me how I did, which probably is not that well. So it tells me what I got right, what I got wrong, correct answers, and then a grade is placed in the grade book. So that's one quick example of an interactive activity. Again, there are plenty of question types in here as well. So I've given you a pretty good tour of the health science site. We've looked at pre-made courses, we've customized courses, we've created custom courses. So again, thank you everyone for joining my session. I do want to remind you about the 10-minute live Q&A after this. And also don't forget that you're automatically going to get points for attending this session. And when the conference is over, you will be receiving a digital certificate of the hours as well. So thank you everybody for joining my session. I hope you're enjoying CTE Inspired, and have a great rest of your conference. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.